If you're coming to Interlaken, you've certainly heard of Harder Kulm, top of Interlaken. Today, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about this place, plus 7 things to do nearby so you can fit Harder Kulm into your Swiss itinerary.
Harder Kulm is the mountain of Interlaken because the town is nestled at its base between Lake Thun and Lake Brienz. We've also heard it said that if Interlaken had a royal family, their castle would be up at Harder Kulm.
The closest train station is Interlaken Oost, where there's also plenty of parking, as well as luggage lockers in the station if you need to stash your bags. From there, it's just a 7-minute walk to the Harder Kulm funicular. You'll walk down the street and through this colorful garden, which happens to have free public bathrooms. This is good to know because there are no bathrooms at the lower Harder Kulm station, but there are toilets at the top. Then, cross the bridge over the Aare River and you'll have no trouble spotting the funicular station.
If you've seen any of our other videos, then you know that Brett is quite possibly the #1 expert on Swiss train passes. But he'll tell you more about passes and tickets later because we're just excited to get to the top and show you the views from Harder Kulm.
By the way, if you already have a ticket or pass that covers the funicular, you can enter on this side. But if you need to buy a ticket, you'll have to wait in line there.
The funicular is open during spring, summer, and fall from 9:10 a.m. until any time between 5:10 and 9:40 p.m., just depending on the time of year. It takes 10 minutes to climb up 754 meters at a 64% average gradient on this 100-year-old funicular. In fact, this ride and the entire network of Jungfrau railways is 100% run on sustainable and renewable energy. And yes, that's right, there's a glass ceiling so you really can see all the way from Lake Brienz up to the Jungfrau.
Welcome to Harder Kulm. When you exit the funicular, it's just a 5-minute panoramic walk to the restaurant and viewing platform. Let's go check it out. Well, now we've officially made it to Harder Kulm, at least according to that sign. So, what can you do here? There are really 4 main things.
First, walk right on through the restaurant to the viewing platform. It's officially called Zwei Seensteg, which means 2 lakes bridge, and has an open-air floor so you can see the trees beneath you. But you're not here to look down, you're here to see the view. To your left is the milky teal water of Lake Brienz. Straight ahead are the snowy peaks of the Eiger, Monch, and Jungfrau. And to the right is Lake Thun and the pyramid-shaped Niesen in the background. Even farther to your right is the Niederhorn and Beatenberg, the longest village in Switzerland. Just below you is Interlaken, which means between 2 lakes, and from here you can really see why. When we come up here during the day, my favorite view, of course, is the mountains, but when we come up here in the evening, I love to watch the sun dip behind the Niesen. What about you, Brett?
My favorite's whatever you can see while sitting and enjoying a beer after hiking up.
You can also snap a selfie with a Swiss cow in the middle of the platform, and the pointy part of the bridge makes a great picture spot too.
The best time of day to come up here, in our opinion, is about an hour before sunset because that's when the mountains really glow. It really is pretty unique that the funicular runs late enough for you to enjoy the sunset from such a beautiful place without hiking.
That's true, and every time we're here, someone asks us to take a picture for them, so don't hesitate to ask other travelers to snap one for you too. Who knows, you might actually end up eating next to them, quite literally. Let's head to the restaurant and we'll explain what we mean.
As you can see, the Harder Kulm Panorama restaurant has a giant terrace and everyone wants to sit out here. But unfortunately, you cannot make reservations. So it's not unusual to see people sharing tables together, especially the really big ones. We're here first thing in the morning and the restaurant isn't actually open yet, so that's why you see so many free tables. Just wanted to break in real quick and say that according to their website, you can now make reservations for groups of 8 people or more. Since we normally come up here after dinner, we like to enjoy a drink with a view, but loads of tourists really like the cheese fondue. It's usually the most common item we see on other people's tables, and it's surprisingly a good value. If the outside is full, there are more seats inside on the first floor. There's a little self-service snack bar with picnic tables too. But you cannot bring your own food up here and eat on the terrace. If you want to bring your own food, there are other spots you can eat, like the next one on our list. It's also helpful to know that there are bathrooms inside the restaurant as well as out here on the terrace.
By the way, I legitimately have no idea why this building looks like a castle. It has that signature iconic steeple, but you don't see this architecture anywhere else in the area. And even in my research, I couldn't find an answer. So if you know why Harder Kulm looks like this, please leave a comment and let me know because I'm super curious. The third thing you can do at Harder Kulm is enjoy the brand new playground, which just opened up in spring 2024. Now, I'm a child at heart, so you will always find me exploring the playground. This is just above the restaurant and includes a nest swing, balancing path, slide, picnic tables, and panoramic benches.
Also, if you've seen our one day in Mirren video, there's a pretty epic stump right in the center of the village, but it seemed like they're gonna be building a building that's gonna block the view, so we found maybe the next best thing. You could also hike here. There's a 1 hour, 3 kilometer circular loop with 12 info panels along the way about the Harderbahn, plus some sweet views. And if you're up for it, you could even hike up here from Interlaken, which we've actually done a few times ourselves. It's posted at 2 hours and 2.5 miles with 760 meters of elevation gain.
Last year, they officially celebrated a local guy who's hiked from Interlaken up to Harder Kulm 1,000 times. That means he has hiked more than 750,000 meters of elevation.
That means I've got just 996 more times to match him. In just a minute, we're gonna show you 7 activities you can do super close by to pair with Harder Kulm. But first, let's talk about tickets. You can buy them online on the SBB app or at the station from a ticket machine or ticket counter. In 2024, an adult round-trip ticket costs 38 francs. If you're staying in Interlaken, you get a 15% discount with your Interlaken guest card. But most of you will probably have some sort of train pass and can therefore get a better deal. You get 50% off with the half fare card, the Swiss travel pass, and the Eurail and Interrail passes too. Better yet, this ride is completely free with the Berner Oberland Pass and the Jungfrau Travel Pass. As always, kids under the age of 6 are completely free on public transportation in Switzerland. Kids between 6 and 15 are normally half price, though if you have the Swiss family card, your kids can ride with you for free. But just so you know, the Swiss family card is not valid with the Jungfrau Travel Pass, even though it is valid with the Berner Oberland Pass. So if you decide to purchase a Jungfrau Travel Pass, you'll also want a children's version for each of your kids between ages 6 and 15. If you're planning a visit during the day, you can buy the Harder lunch ticket for 49 francs full price or 39 francs if you're traveling with the half fare card or Swiss Travel Pass. And it's just 20 francs for kids 6 to 15. It includes your ride up and down on the funicular, as well as whatever daily lunch menu is advertised in the restaurant.
If you have our 1-week guide to the Jungfrau region, then you're probably familiar with some of the next things on our list, but if not, here are 7 additional activities you can do near Harder Kulm. Right next to the Harder Kulm station in Interlaken is the Alpine Wildlife Park, where you can see ibex and marmots. Apparently in the 1800s, the ibex nearly went extinct, so they opened this park as a way to reintroduce them to the Berner Oberland. Now, I actually have no idea why there are marmots here, but they are hilarious to watch. This park is open every day and free to visit, although donations are welcome.
Just above the wildlife park is the Home View Pavilion with stunning views of Interlaken. This would be an amazing spot for sunrise. There's a pavilion with benches, but there are also picnic tables and a grill if you want to hang out here with a snack or drinks at sunset without the crowds.
Remember that park we walked through on the way to Harder Kulm? Well, if you didn't stop earlier, now is a great time to stop. Of course, you can wander the paths and admire the fancy flower gardens. There's some steps that lead down to the water if you want to dip your toes in the Aare River, but heads up, it's really cold, even in summer. And there's also a famous statue of Denkmal Adolf Geyer Zeller, who is the founder of Jungfrau Railways, which also owns the Harder Kulm funicular.
If you keep walking along the waterfront for about 20 to 30 minutes, you'll make it to Lake Brienz, which is that really bright teal-colored lake that you saw from above. The path continues all the way around the lake, but at the beginning of the lake between Interlaken and Bunningen are some swimming areas if you need a cold dip.
But if you don't want to walk that far, you don't have to, thanks to the beauty of Swiss transportation. You can hop on a boat here at the Interlaken O station and then crisscross along Lake Brienz. Our favorite stop is Giesbach Falls, where you can walk behind the waterfalls or enjoy a drink on the beautiful panoramic terrace at the hotel restaurant.
And right next to the boat dock at Interlaken Oost is this bistro right here. I love this little spot because it's tucked away from all the hustle and bustle of Interlaken, plus I always see locals here. It has a big terrace, cozy seats, a kids play area, and horns to listen to from the boats. and pretty affordable drinks and ice cream. Honestly, it's the perfect spot to hang out on a warm summer day.
Hopefully you've already added Harder Kulm to your Swiss itinerary, but we also recommend exploring beyond Interlaken. If you need help planning your trip, check out our 1-week guide to the Jungfrau Region or watch this next to see our absolute favorite spots in this area. And we'll see you in Switzerland.